Have a toolbox. It is a hot day out here today. It's supposed to be a heat index of 113, like 7 degrees higher than it was yesterday. I'm gonna take my 2 sawhorses and my table. I'm gonna go ahead and set them up in the front of the Camaro because I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling parts off of the car. First, it's gonna be the spoiler, and don't mind the tape measure. It decided, I'll fix that later. This part here, the taillights and the bumper, I'm gonna try and get those off today. I'm not gonna worry too much about the front bumper. And I checked and checked and checked all night last night. Well, not all night, but most of the night and today, and the fluid didn't change. The level didn't change. There's no leaks anywhere, so maybe it was just a misjudgment on my part when it came to filling the car up. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get my other makeshift table set up right there, and then we will start getting parts pulled off on this car so we can start sanding. All right, that was quick. Got my makeshift table set up, but it's not going to be to hold parts for long term. It's mainly only going to be for right now to hold parts. While I take them off, the parts are going to get stored in the shed, but this is mainly going to be so I can put the parts on to paint them, so that I don't have to worry about trying to hang them up or worry about painting and covering up this wall of the house again. Makes it easier, so I don't care about getting throwaway door painted. Okay, the easy part about doing some of these parts is taking this piece off and just kind of moving it up and out of the way and getting behind the carpet, and we have access to the taillights. Okay, that's simple enough. Unlock this piece here, which it's already partially done, and well, we got the spare tire in the way, but we're not going to go through a lesson on how to remove a spare tire. So move the carpet out the way, and same thing, access to the bolts here, and then we can both remove both this and the taillights. So we'll go ahead and get that done now. All right, and 2 minutes later, we now have both headlights removed, and we have access to, now we can start removing this piece, which is going to be there, and here probably looks like just those 4 bolts, and it comes off probably what do we think, 10 millimeter maybe. Let's give it a try. Okay, like I said, 2 minutes and 4 bolts later, now that back piece is off, which is also a good thing because the top Christmas trees, as I call them, hold the top of the rear bumper in place. So now I have access to them, and which is funny, taking this piece off, a lot of these spots on this car, I would have thought, with how dull it is, which obviously is over time and not being polished, you would think that, well, maybe it was a respray or something like that, but actually in reality this car's never been repainted. This is just the original paint, and if you know 4th gen F bodies, that's what happens if they sit in the sun or if they're not maintained. This one was well maintained. My mom loved this car to death. But unfortunately, being a Florida car, you know, sitting out there stripped all of its wax, or stripped through its wax through the clear coat. But you know, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and get it fixed and repainted. So now we're going to go ahead and possibly work on the rear bumper. I don't know yet because this weather is threatening. So we'll go ahead and, yeah, a little bit of a breeze right now. We'll go ahead and move on the inside a little bit and go ahead and work on the rear view mirrors and then go from there. Oh, we also have the spoiler to get while we're at where we're at. And that one is not too hard to get because all we have to do is pull this panel back. Well, you can pull it off, but I'm just going to try and pull it back enough to expose the 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that hold it. And within this panel will be a clip right around here for the wires for the 3rd brake light. So you don't have to worry about feeding the wire through the wing here. And while I got these undone, all these holes here, I'm going to go ahead and get some masking tape and tape them from the inside and the outside so that no little bugs and everything else that, yeah, we've seen them make it here but not on the inside. Make sure that, ooh, hey, I gotta make a note of that, rust. Make sure they don't make it their way inside the actual car now with the holes being exposed the way they are. So we'll go ahead and get those 2 things done now. Okay, there's the panel taken off. I got a few of the Christmas trees I got to take out because they didn't want to pop themselves out. I don't have the proper tool, but the 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here is the rear brake, 3rd brake light wire. And yeah, we're gonna have to do the same thing here, taping up the holes so that when I take this off, there's no exposure to the elements. And this is why I'm also glad I wanted to do this. Not only does it make it easier to paint this, but we see where the sun line stops right under it. So not only is it going to make it easier to paint this piece, but I mean, it's only going to look right if we do both of them the right way. Okay, let's see if we can pull this bad boy off. Oh, there it comes with one hand. Oh, there we go. Spoiler in one hand. And now we can see how clean it is on the underside. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that hard line right there, buddy. Yep, that's all gonna get sanded and feathered back. That's okay, that's what we wanted. So we got more holes to get some tape on right there, not too bad. So more spots to clean, but that's all right. We got parts we got to clean also. This part has to be clean, that part has to be clean. So let me go get my tape. Put this down without wrecking it. There we go. I'll go get my tape and I'll be right back. So we got the bolt holes all covered up inside and out on there and on the wing, so that now we can, oop. Oh yeah, that does go all the way through. Okay, well, I got one more to do. No big deal, I'll get that. I thought it was just this one by itself, didn't even pay attention to the one on the outside. So, and amazingly enough, it is, I'd rather be in Arizona right now or somewhere over there. This heat and humidity is nothing. I'd rather take the heat and no humidity, like over in Iraq or something. Like Arizona matches perfectly fine. I miss the heat, high heat, 125 degrees and zero humidity. I'll take that any day, instead of where I'm walking outside and pouring sweat in 10 seconds. I mean, all I was doing is taping. Yeah, anyway, so we got that done. The bumper here can wait. Gonna do the go ahead and do the rear view mirrors. Take them off. I'll go ahead and do the headlights and the front bumper, because the front bumper is right here anyway, and it needs to come off because it looks like I got some pieces that need to be replaced, like this. And if I can't find it to replace it, it needs to be repaired. So headlights and front bumper are going to be next, but the best part is I can back this car up a few feet and sit in my chair right there and do the work. All right, well, one cheap ass plastic piece with a number 2 Phillips head screw. We're gonna get one. We already got one nut taken off. We got 2 more, and we'll have the rear view mirror done. The exact same thing over on the driver's side, and then I'm done. Not gonna do much more because the weather is really, as you can see, I have barely been moving and I am sweating so bad. So to keep myself from being a heat casualty, I'm going to do these 2 rear view mirrors, tape up these holes that they leave, you know, passageways in and out of the door, and I'm going to call it a day. So I will be right back after I get these removed. Well, color me surprised. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get the bumper off because I was thinking that the last parts that were holding it together were right in there, so you can barely see it, were rivets. When in actuality, it looks like it's those 2 bolts. Right here and right here. So we'll go ahead and get those moved right now. Well, rear bumper's off. All it was just those 2 extra ones. These the rivets that I thought were what was last holding it in were just holding the bracket piece that holds these to bolt into the quarter panel. So easy peasy. So now, well, a lot of cleaning needs to be done now. Kind of reminds me of the Wraith back here now. Some of you might not know that movie, but so we'll go ahead and get this will be cleaned up on another day. This is going to go ahead and be taken over with the rest of the parts over on the table. I'm still debating on whether I want to go ahead and do the front bumper and headlights right now. Most likely go ahead and do them tomorrow, because the front bumper, I'm not too overly worried about it. Same with the headlights, because both of them are getting replaced anyway. It's getting new headlights and a new front bumper, and the new front bumper is in that shed anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So that bumper, I don't have to worry about prepping it or anything else. This is just going to make it a lot easier to paint the rest of the car, instead of having to worry about, you know, taping off everything. This where I can make sure the body line, the paint line comes in here, instead of making a hard line that stops. You know, same here, the paint line can go down into here some, down into here, and instead of, you know, being a hard line that stops just beyond this ledge right here, we can bring it a soft line in here instead. So, and then I'll probably take, actually I need to open the hatch again, because I gotta seal up I gotta do those holes right there with tape. But yeah, this way it minimizes a lot of headache for taping and covering. I still have to figure out how to get this weather stripping or whatever it is off, and this molding has to come off. I want this molding to come off because I want the paint. See how the paint was under the molding? Nice. Well, I kind of want to do the same thing. I want the paint to go down into where, and down into there, down into the channel, and plus I want to do this repair here. So I may end up going ahead and just taking this out. I think it's glued in there, but and not worrying about it. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to get this taped off. I'm glad I got this one finished for the day. One less thing I got to do tomorrow. So this is the official last video for the day. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.